So, welcome to everybody. I had to make an announcement, a personal announcement. Irina Stahl knows already, I think, but I have been appointed in another university now. I have been promoted as a full professor in France. And it is not very far from where I was working. It is in Nice, in the city of Nice, which is a wonderful city. From September, I will be a professor there. And there is a great carnival in Nice, as you may know. So hopefully we can gather one day there in a few years, maybe. I will focus more on urban anthropology as a main topic, but still including, of course, works on rituals and festivals. So that was the personal announcement for
Congratulations!
It's a wonderful news for you and for us, for everybody.
Yes,
yes.
It's something you deserve. Yes.
Hopefully, it will help to encourage and to reinforce our field of studies in France and the relation between ethnology and folklore.
Wonderful.
So that's a good start.
Yes.
And Irina, your greeting?
Yes, hello everybody.
You
nice to see you again. Not yet. Not yet. I'm supposed to be elected now. So, if you see my name up in the new CF board, then please vote for us because I think we come as a group. But anyway, I'll be there. So, hopefully it will be a new beginning. And a good one. Yeah. So that's the good news we have to share with you. And now I think we have some not that good news. Irina, do you want to talk about that?
Yes. As Laurent mentioned, we had the wonderful opportunity to meet up even more often than we used to during the last 17 years. Since every crisis gives new opportunities. And in this case, we are very lucky to see each other in familiar squares already and asking everybody, do you see me? Do you listen to me? Do you hear me? This is our life now. And we go on in this way for a while. Nobody knows how long will it last. We were more optimistic at the beginning, and we thought Riga still will happen in the fall of 2020, but it didn't happen. So we will talk more about our webinars and our activity, but as our annual and biannual meetings, we start with sad news because unfortunately people leave this world, and I'm very sad to say that one of the oldest members of our group, Marlene Mifsud-Cherkap, died in August. We do not know the reason of her death, but she was a great fellow and a great scholar, and we all remember her. And of course, with her, we remember her husband, who also left this world. He died many years ago.
Can you see my screen? I'm trying to share the screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, so this is Marlene, and the other picture is of George at our first conference in Malta, which took place in 2005. You see beautiful surroundings, and it was an unforgettable beginning. Irina, can you please switch off your presentation?
Yes.
I'll show some documents. I think it's better to show them alive. This is the first volume George and Marlene edited. It's quite a big volume because we had over 50. I have the documents because I was the secretary. We had over 50 members at that time participating in this unforgettable, as I said, conference, and the abstracts were published as well. Since we are all in the ritual year, and today is the Troitskaya Subota, for those who knows Russian and Slavic rituals, today is one of the 4 biggest commemorating Saturdays before Whitsun or Trinity. So this is the day we commemorate everybody, and of course we remember our fellows. So this is all I wanted to tell you about Marlene and George. And now, Irina, would you tell us the agenda of the meeting?
Yes,
please.
We have several things to discuss. We're going to start with our conference in Riga that was postponed, and Igars is going to refresh our memory and give us something to look forward for next year if everything goes well and as we expect it to be. And then we're going to talk a bit about our Ritual Year seasonal webinars that we started last year. And then we're going to go ahead talking about other conferences that we have been, our Ritual Year group has been attended during last year. And then we're going to continue with our publications because several publications have been published lately. And then we're going to tell you more about what to expect of where you can attend our meetings during the SIEF Congress the following days and what's going to happen and how we have conceived them. And then we're going to end with future plans for publications, what we're going to do with the paper presented in our panels during this current SIEF Congress, and invite new members to join us. So this is our agenda. And if you approval, we're going to move forward with it. So should we raise the hands? Who is for? Good. Then the first point now on our agenda is the Riga conference. As you all know, we were supposed to already have attended it in June 2020. And then we've decided to postpone it to 2 years because since the last conference in Bucharest, we have decided to have the Ritual Year conferences every 2 years. So we don't overlap the SIEF congresses. So we have decided to postpone the Riga conference to June, I think. June, was it, Igars? 2022. And Igars is going to refresh our memory and tell us more how it's going to happen. Please, Igars.
Hey, greetings to everyone once more. And yeah, I apologize about postponed conference, but it was our decision. So sorry, but yeah, the target is to make meeting for all of us in Riga, and yeah, we decided that the date will be 2022, the first week of June, as it was before, and the conference will take place in Riga National Library the first day, and it's just opening words the 1st June. The 2nd and the 3rd June, it's a time for papers, and the 4th, it's the excursion to open air museum of Latvian culture. So these are 4 days as it was planned 2 years before. So just two years between this between these dates. So, and I suppose that the information we will actualize once more in maybe end of August or beginning of September about the articles, about not about articles, but proposals, yeah, and maybe we will make the one new for others. So, and for those who sent in already presentations, papers. So, if you have any, if you want to improve your presentation, of course you can send me new one, and I hope it will happen at last in next year in summer. So, yeah, thank you. And if you have any questions, yeah.
Thank you, Aigars. No, I think we're fine. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this news. And I would like to ask, will there be an opportunity for new persons who didn't apply last year to take part in this conference?
Yeah, of course. And as I said, I will send a new one call for April.
Thank you.
In the beginning of September, maybe, and yeah,
okay,
it's possible. Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Okay, should we move on to the next point on our agenda? Irina, should we move on?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Aigars.
I'm looking forward to Riga, and it's not your fault, definitely. Nobody knows when and how shall we travel. So, but we'll keep in touch. And as a substitution for a while, we decided to have our webinars, and we call them seasonal webinars, knowing that everybody is so busy at the moment and busy with teaching, with lecturing, with articles, etc., and many Zooms and Microsoft Offices and whatever. So we started, when we got used a bit to the Zooms and this new normality, so to say, new normality and new way of life, we decided to start a series of webinars from the new academic year 2020. In the autumn, there was the first seasonal webinar, which very symbolically, I think, was opened with the lecture by our honorary president, Emily Lyle from Edinburgh. And her topic was also very, so to say, symbolical. A spark of hope need fire as a response to crisis. So the key words were hope, crisis, and it was a wonderful lecture. And there were other two speakers, Mara Kuiva and Laurent Fournier, at this first webinar. So I think I wouldn't keep you telling all the names of the speakers and the titles of webinars. They are all recorded. And we are very grateful to our Estonian colleagues, Mara Kuiva, Andres Kupirianov, Maris Kupirianov, Mara Kalda, and all the colleagues who are hosting us helping us with the technical problems. Whenever we decide to organize something, they are always here, and they have a wonderful platform which is archiving all the videos. By now, apart from the first webinar I mentioned, the autumn one, we had a winter webinar and spring and summer webinars. This is what concerns our seasonal webinars, our first idea of having one webinar in 3 or 4 months. But we also have some events, some special events. So we had a special event regarding Christmas food, and we had a fascinating exchange of culinary ideas before Christmas, 2 days before Christmas, with 5 speakers who told us about Swedish, Romanian, Filipinian, and who else, American, and Laurent told us about the local French food in theoretical perspective. So it was very nice and a very good celebration, a group celebration of Christmas, so to say. We also had a special event which with a lecture by a Russian Georgian now scholar, Anna Muradova, who spoke in detail about a Russian scholar back from 19th century, specializing in Celtic and Breton studies, and not only. This lecture is also videotaped, and we can see it. Those who couldn't join us can see it and learn a lot, because very interesting subjects are depicted by the speaker, and the Russian lady from the 19th century, of course, is an admirable scholar. I must add that Anna Muradova herself, who lives in Tbilisi now, 2 days ago got a Breton award, a wonderful silver award. And I must add, it is a very important note that not everybody is using our Facebook page, but many events, many new publications, all the webinars and all the new issues appear on this page, apart from Irina Stahl's kind circulation of the news. We are planning new webinars as seasonal, as well as seasonal and some special events. And the first one would be dedicated probably to fertility, crops, and the fall rituals. We're collecting the proposals and we'll be happy to organize it. I hope Mare will host us again somewhere in autumn. Maybe we will have a special event for what we were talking about. Next webinar. Sorry.
We were talking about Halloween.
About Halloween, yes. About special. Halloween or something else, yes. But maybe Halloween, if our participants are still interested in this particular celebration and masking, etc., etc. We're, as I said, open to new speakers. We started with the first members of our group, and we're open to everybody and to new topics. I suppose that we could devote some of the webinars for one country, for example, for a country which ritual year is not well known. For example, Albania, what just comes to my mind. This is a mysterious country with a very rich patriarchal ritual year, still well kept. So please share your ideas with Irina and myself. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I can't see questions. So Irina, again, back to you.
Well, moving on, we also wanted to talk a few about other conferences the Ritual Year has been invited to. And we have to mention the Baltic and the Balkans #4 conference that took place in Riga in November last year, which was an online conference as well, and a very interested one. And it basically reunited the same Ritual Year members once again. And then we were also invited as a group to the celebration of 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines. And that was a very nice surprise in March, this year in March. And we were 5 presenters, I believe. Myself, Irina Serakova, Laurent, and who else was there?
Vihra and Mare.
Vera Baeva. Yes, exactly.
And Mare.
And Mare, sorry, Mare Koiva. So that was nice. And then after the Riga conference, Irina Sirakova and Mare Koiva also invited me to have a talk, which was really amazing on the same topic. And it was very beautiful because every time I got new ideas on that, it was about a Romanian village and the way people were standing in the church for almost a century ago. And I compared it to the current situation. And it's always very helpful when you hear people asking you questions and you discuss it with your fellows. And that's the whole idea of the working group, actually. You get more ideas and you develop your topics. So with that, I think we concluded our participation in conferences, and we're going to move on to the publications. And
I would suggest, Irina, sorry, I see here Tanya Matanova. The Bulgarian colleagues organized a very big conference between two worlds. Mare, you took part in this conference, didn't you? There were some members of our group, as far as I know. Maybe you will tell us several words about this Bulgarian conference.
I saw that Tanya Matanova here. Maybe Tanya, Tanya would like to speak.
I think she's off right now.
She had to leave.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
She had to leave. Yes, she has three babies. Yes,
yes. Actually, it was a very interesting conference. It has many parallel sessions, and part of them were connected with mythology. Partly there was also migration, but mainly migration of ideas and thoughts. So it was really fruitful, and it's very remarkable that they actually already published the papers of a conference. So I will send to you later a link. Maybe you can find some interesting research topics or some theoretical points. The main speaker at the conference was actually well-known theoretical and so on anthropologist and ethnologist Keller. So it was really interesting and fruitful. He proposed to think about the term magic, which is very highly popular just now, and he proposed that actually in ancient Greece, in Hellenia, it was not the ordinary word, and that it's more modern use of term, which is just now started to be like a meme, really like virus in the study environment. So I will send really the link, and I'm sure that you are happy to find many interesting papers.
Wonderful. Other conferences to be mentioned? Mostly in Zoom, of course. We had a Balkan conference also with several participants from our ritual year group, Alexander Novik and Alexandra Dugushin. That's why Albania came to my mind, because we have very good experts on Albanian ritual year. So other conferences?
We were supposed to go to ICSES in Canada, but
yes. No, we can't do.
Nobody will do that.
No, unfortunately not. And there are many other conferences we had to, whether to go to Zoom format or to give it up. Yes. But still, we had a very big Zoom conference with Balkan and Baltic colleagues. I'm sorry, Zhelvitis is not here, and Ekaterina Anastasova, who were the organizers. And many of us participated in this conference, and the proceedings would be published, and we will talk about it.
Maybe I must mention that in Tomsk, in Russia, there will be the Russian Congress on anthropology. And unfortunately, they actually not cancelled the Congress, but it will be online again. And it is one of the congresses where are special sections again, where we are deciding the questions about the ritual year. So I know that Andres will participate at this part, and I made a proposal for mythology. So I'm so how to say, I'm really sad because I ordered the tickets, and just now I realized that I must cancel them all. And again, I was very interested because the Tomsk has very good museums, but also very good archives, old archives. So I actually hope to work a bit in archives, but nothing to do.
Yes, the situation has worsened in Russia and in Moscow, especially these days. We have almost 10,000 ill people every day. So we again have many restrictions, and the situation is so unpredictable. But we are lucky to see each other in these squares, I repeat. Other conferences to be mentioned. Laurent, what happens in France? Are there many conferences, or I have no idea at all on our subject, or no?
Not so much, because we had this lockdown until April. Or now, we have discussed this morning with the French-speaking group. There was the French-speaking working group this morning. So we discussed this topic, and we had the same reaction as everywhere, that we would need to speak about the consequences of the pandemic on the methodology when we are looking at rituals and festivals, and especially we raised some epistemological questions and about self-reflexivity and about the methodological consequences of this. Personally, I was stopped in my works for nearly 6 months last year, and I found it very disturbing, very difficult to think. And hopefully, I decided I was at home with my archive, so I decided to work only on papers. And I wrote a book. I advertised it in the CF newsletter, but it is a handbook. It is not a monography, and it is not a case study. It is a general book. And because all this year, 2020, from March, when the pandemic began until October, I really didn't manage to. I could not imagine how I could do to work empirically to do the field work on festivals, and it's only 6 months later that I managed to come back to the topic of festivals. So I began phoning to people, and by the phone I asked questions concerning the impact of the pandemic and the feelings of the people who were not able to perform their rituals. And then in France there was a clandestine party, a non-authorized party in for the New Year's Eve. This December the 31st last year, now 6 months ago, there was a huge party in Bretagne, still in Bretagne, in Rennes, with 3,000 young people who were doing the festival without any regards to the disease and to the pandemic, and from there on, there were not so much conferences or meetings or academic meetings, but there was a lot of interest from the media in the rituals. And since December, in the last 6 months, I have been asked from a lot of media in France, general newspapers. I have been asked by the journalists about the importance of rituals and the importance of festivals. And I think that it is maybe a paradox, but the cancellation of all the festivals in 2020 has brought in has risen the awareness of the importance of our topic of festivals and rituals. So another colleague, professor of anthropology in the University of Paris, said that it was extremely important to celebrate, and that the absence of celebration was maybe one of the most important psychological effect of the pandemic. And then I have written a few notes for the journalists and the media to tell them the importance, the cultural importance of rituals. So after the first 6 months of total stop, then there was a new dynamic, and I feel that today the people think it is important. So there has been a discussion in the University of Amiens in the north of France from two young scholars who are interested in the new methodologies which have been developed to study festivals in this situation. And concerning the French-speaking working group of SIEF, we have decided this morning that we would organize a conference in Perugia, in Italy, next year on these methodological problems and the necessity to change fieldworks after the pandemic, and on online inquiries and things like that. So that's what I have heard.
Great, thank you, Laurent. It's actually an introduction to our roundtable, which you won't be able to attend on Wednesday. So you already gave us some idea about France. Thank you so much.
Yes, I have to be at my university for the defense of the master's thesis on the morning of the 23rd. So unfortunately, I cannot join.
Thank you for these ideas and this information. We'll keep it in mind. Irina, what is the next? Or would anybody else tell us anything about the situation or conferences, or shall we leave it for the roundtable for Wednesday? Please join us on Wednesday. Yeah. Nina, yes, please.
Yes, I think that we can mention also a round table that was held last year by Irina Stahl in June. And it was devoted to the situation with COVID, and it was also about rituals. And Irina Stahl and Daria Ratchetka, one of our members, participated there, and one of our Lithuanian colleagues. So it was very interesting.
Irina Kuznetsova too, and Akvile.
Yes, Akvile Metuzaite. Yes, I think that she's also a member of our group.
Yes, she is.
Yes, maybe you, Irina, will tell us several words about it.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I forgot about it. It seems such a long time ago. Well, it was in the middle of the pandemic, so it happened very quickly, actually, and we tried to talk a bit about the interdiction that were just about to happen, and how it happened little by little, and all the contradictions, and how people reacted to it. And we focused mainly on religious celebration. I think Daria spoke about
Easter also.
About Easter, and Irina Kuznetsova also about Easter. And she has a particular. I hear myself with an echo.
There is an echo. Yes,
there is an echo. Irina Kuznetsova has a very interesting situation because she's part of a parish organizing group. So she had access from the inside, and she was taking care of the filming crew and the way the services were filmed. And she had such a absolutely wonderful vision of the whole event from the inside, but analyzing it from a researcher's point of view. So she kept the 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and it was really amazing. And I really appreciated her effort to participate because she's not very fluent in English, so she had a translator with her. But even so, the exchange was very, very interesting. And Akvile spoke from a more her own experience of being in between two countries, Lithuania and Greece, and what happened in Greece and how they couldn't be in touch with her husband's family in Greece, and how they were stuck in Lithuania and how they celebrated Easter together. And then she also spoke about the two communities from the two countries, the Greek community and Lithuanian community. So it was very interesting. Yes, it was kind of a, how do you call that, a teaser for future conferences, because we were very much involved in what was going on, but we still tried to do something and take notes about the events and discuss them from a scientific point of view. So it was very, very interesting. And it was also the starting point, I think, for our panel with Nina, because Daria will take part in it. And Irina Kuznetsova is a very valuable member, I believe. So we all make effort to stay in contact and share the information, which is very beautiful. Thank you, Nina.
Mara, yes, please. Switch on your microphone, please. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would like to speak very briefly what we made, because we started, I think, at the beginning of April we started to think that we have a teams how to prepare the lectures or what we can do. So maybe very short, very briefly, I hope that you can see my slides. We prepared with Andres a short introduction how we survived all these times. So, of course, very much time went to the COVID, nothing to do. So we tried to collect as much materials as we can. Maybe I will add to Morgana that actually I watched also before the pandemic, for example, the rituals of Selena Fox, and very carefully I watched what is doing Starhawk and Have are very very good in preparing the rituals and sharing them via internet. But mainly, I think the situation was the same as Laurent described, that we had many proposals from TV and also from radio. So it is just now quite good tradition to reflect what is happening or to explain what means one or another custom or faith or something more. But basically, we, because of our colleagues who are smart and their background is coming from very different communities, we collected and analyzed material from Estonian, Udmurt, Belarusian, and from Bulgaria, of course, which is my old love. So, and one of course, one which was very, very interesting and very successful was the Udmurtian research on Udmurt culture, folklore, and so on, also all kind of festivals and so on. We already published in Estonian and in English some results. I think it started with very interesting, partly online, partly offline rituals by Udmurtians, described by Galina Gluchova and Nikolai Anisimov, but also Belarusians. Here is something against the COVID and so on. So during last year, there was, I saw here Eva Toulouse, who is our very great and very helpful colleague from Estonian and French side. So Eva and Nikolai published the book about Varklet Podja. Thanks to Tatiana Miniakhmetova, we all know how Ria and archaic are some of partly part of Udmurtian culture and so on. And we have also some ready to print collections like Current Studies, which is again describing also the offering priests, but also other things. And our friend Tatiana Miniakhmetova, we published a book about her work in with Estonian archives, because during the Soviet time, Estonians very much visited not Russia, but the Finnic-Ugric community in Russia. We had also 3 kind of roundtables about the sacred places. One of them was Estonian one, and we discussed, is it normal that interested groups, government and so on, they are predicting what are your sacred places and how you must behave in the sacred places and so on. And here is the second Finnic-Ugric roundtable speaking more about Komi-Permiak cultural space. They are actually available in internet, but one of them in Russian, but mainly they are in Estonian. So we are planning to prepare again something. And the recent year was also remarkable, not only because of COVID and all rituals, church rituals and so on, which took place in TV, but also we were very closely touched by the political year because of Belarus and because of political issues that took place there. So just now we have, for example, kind of art exhibition about the photos of protest against the Belarusian anti-democratic government and so on. But I think which deserves your attention are the 2 volumes of articles. Unfortunately, they are published in Russian, and the reason is that Estonians never publish in Russian, and also Belarusians, they prefer to publish in Belarusian. So our common language for communication was mainly Russian language, and we decided to do something for this in this Russian huge language. Actually, I think the main interesting topics are the contemporary Belarusian folk customs and traditions, but also I must say that quite interesting was how Belarusians looked at Estonian Orthodox customs and find very interesting parallels in Belarus. And our field trips. We were very lucky actually when we got back from Tanzania, Reet Hiiemäe, and actually Nikolai, partly he was a prisoner at Russia because of the COVID, but he had a very, very good field work, very wide area in Baskortostan, Tatarstan, Udmurtia and so on in different republics. I think I cannot describe to you what happened with me when I realized that after all my proposals I can visit Bulgaria and to do field work, thanks to my Bulgarian colleagues and Liina Kergo, we visited the Literacy Day, Kirill and Methodius Day, and finishing the school year, but also all kind of smaller places. But I would like to share not the interesting and maybe rare data which we recorded, but my first feelings when I realized that bookstores in Bulgaria, they are open. I went in the bookstore, I stayed and read all kind of books for hours. And I was so happy, like I was like a newborn. Really, it was something absolutely extraordinary. And at last, I would like to thank special thanks to you all for your lectures and seminars, and especially for 2 Irinas, who are our leading group, because you cannot imagine how much are people who are making choice. And we can say that if you would like to know more about Christmas food or about summer feast, please go and look at our seminar webinars, and there are many many people, of course, also media people who are very fluent in English. So it was my a bit chaotic, but I wanted to share that actually 2020 it was good for writing books and writing articles, but also maybe collecting a bit material. So hoping to the best times. Thank you.
Thank you, Mara. It was so informative, and you are so lucky to have been to Bulgaria. It's my dream as a specialist in Bulgarian studies, but I can't make it for almost 2 years. So, Irina, what are we doing now?
Thank you, Mara. Well, Mara anticipated our next point, so we're actually, it's a good timing. We still have 20 minutes. Thank you, Mara. It was touching. Thank you. Well, we were supposed to talk about publications, and we had to announce that the Richelieu number 12 is out. And that's grace to the work of Tom and Irina. Yay.
Yes, this is the wonderful volume of the yearbook. It's beautiful. It's not that big if we compare it with the Malta one, which I showed you, and it disappeared somewhere. It's a bit thinner, but it can, well, here it is. So
it's pocket size, every
single volume is different in size. But what we did this time, I received the files from Tom. Thank you so much. We've been waiting for a very long time to get them, almost 5 years. When I got it, we decided that we will be going for Scopus or Web of Science because it really deserves. This is already 12th volume of a very qualitative publication comparing to other Scopus journals and magazines. So we made several consultations with Mare and other colleagues here in Russia and other countries, and our honorary president, Emily. So we decided to go with a certain design of the cover. So from now on, it will be more or less same size. I mean, not in the quantity of pages, but the format and the cover. And we finally have an editorial board, etc., etc. So, Tom, would you like to tell us something about the articles? There is your introduction, and there are 11 articles, yours and mine, and I can't see other authors from this volume. It's in the post. I mailed it, but not anybody has got it yet.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you to Irina for making it happen on the practical side of things, and for pushing me and waking me up at various times, getting me on task. As you say, it's been a long time. We decided to focus the volume very closely on the conference theme, and that's one reason that it's maybe a bit thinner than some of the others. So all the papers are very much focused on the idea of regulating customs. And I'm thankful for all the contributors who were very responsive and came back quickly with corrections and suggestions. And we made quite a lot of suggestions for the authors as well, which they acted upon. So I think it holds together very nicely as a volume and sort of leads the reader through different aspects of the topic. So although the papers are, of course, all on their separate topics, if you read the book 1, 2, 3, 4 through the whole set of papers, then you travel from very local kinds of regulation to UNESCO at the other end. So I think it's quite a nice journey, so to speak, through the idea. So thank you to Irina in particular, and also just to the group as a whole for helping us make it happen. And it was a very memorable conference that gave rise to it. So I hope the volume will be useful and memorable to people as well.
I didn't mention Skydra. She somehow escaped from my screen, but Skydra is one of the 11 authors. And there are other authors like Tatiana Minyahmetova. Tatiana made a lot of publications this year. She published 2 books, and she also participated in several joint publications. Petko Christov from Bulgaria, Athanasios Barmblexis from Greece, James Deutsch from the States, whom we know well, Cosette Griffin-Kremer from France, Skydra, as I mentioned, and Lydia Nikocevic from Croatia, and Susie Harrison from the UK. Those are the authors. And the snail mail is really snail speed now. And so the books are in the post, but I have no idea when they will reach you. So other books and publications. We are now waiting for the year book number 13 with the lucky number.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the Baltic and the Balkan. Yes, number 13. Well, number 13 is put on hold because of the many tasks that I had to take care of. But I hope that after the CF Congress, I will get back to it. It's thought to be a bit too many things to do lately, especially with the webinars and everything going on, and just the writing to everybody. It takes hours and hours to write and to get the response and go back and forward several times. We have all the articles proofread. There are over 30 articles, I think, 30 articles. So it's going to be a very considerable, large volume. And we'll see at the end what we are doing with the publisher, if we want to speed things up, because the Romanian Academy Publishing House is very, very slow. In general, it is prestigious, but it's very slow and it needs certain procedures to be done. So if we want to speed things up, we can always choose another publisher who have the money for it, so it won't be a problem. So at this point, they're proofread. I just have to send them back to the articles to authors and get them to respond. I think that's probably going to happen after summer, because we will need a real, true break from all the scientific activities. So we're probably going to go back to it in early September. So we had one more publication with the Baltic and Balkan yearbook and the panels, our past panels. Irina, thank you, and Laurent published one.
Yes, Laurent and myself, we made, so to say, difficult work on publication of the panel from Santiago, the Ritual Year panel. And we also published a review of the Santiago CF with Alexander Novik. And this volume is, I do not have it in body, I'm sorry, as a hard copy, but it is available and can be downloaded, and we promoted it on our CF page and our Facebook page. I would say this is a very interesting volume. I recommend this to be at least looked through, because there are many traditions and all of them are connected with the rituals, methodology to study rituals in diachronic and synchronic ways. And it also shows various territories. And what else, Laurent, would you add to this publication? Does everybody have the link to this Balkan and Baltic yearbook? No? we can share it, Irina, when we
Yes.
share our minutes. We will share
Yes,
the videos and all the links. Yes.
Here I'm just sharing. Yeah, I send it in the chat. So you have the link now in the chat to the.
Good, thank you. Yeah, Yearbook of Balkan and Baltic Studies, issue 3.
Issue 3, yes. So it was published and just before Christmas, and it contains some articles, well, about 10 articles. Well, it focuses on as the title suggests, as the title of the review suggests, on Baltics and Baltic case studies and Balkanic case studies mainly, but there is also a comparative something.
There is also an article on Irish.
Yes, well, that's what I wanted to
holidays
mention.
By Tatiana Mikhailova, yes.
Tatiana Mikhailova. And also a review section. And an interesting overview on Baltic studies in Moscow by Maria Zavialova.
Exactly, yes.
Yes, well, it was difficult because it is always difficult to work with a publisher who is outside the group. It is not the same logic because the journal, the yearbook for Balkan and Baltic studies had their own standards, and we had to go through these standards. So it was, of course, a bit of work to manage this. Maybe a bit less independent than with our series, Ritual Year series, but still, it is nice to have this out, and we can be thankful to Katya Anastasova in particular, who was on the staff of the series and who helped us to copy edit the articles.
And of course, our gratitude goes to the platform of Estonian folklore. They are hosts of a folklore electronic journal of folklore where we publish a lot. And this yearbook of Balkan and Baltic studies as well. And the layout and everything was fulfilled by our Estonian colleagues. All right.
I think we should move on. We have like 7 more minutes to go. We wanted to announce our activities during this SIEF Congress that has already started, but will really start on Monday. And tell you that on Monday at 2:00, we have the first panel, our Ritual Year group organized. It's Performance 01, sections A and B, calendric rituals, a time to break the rules. And it's going to go on until 6:00 in the evening. So from 2 to 6 with a little break of a half an hour in between the 2 sections. And then on Tuesday, at the same time, we're going to have a second panel. So the first panel is chaired by Irina Sirakova and Laurent Fournier. And the second panel at the same time on Tuesday, so from 2 to 6, is chaired by myself and Nina Blashkina. And it's Performance 03 A and B, and it's entitled Old Rituals, Changing Environments, New Rules. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a round table at 10:00 for 1 hour and 45 minutes until 11:45. It's called Performance 03, Section C. It's a roundtable where all our members are invited to take part in. And we are mainly going to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic and how it affected rituals and festivities and festivals all over the world. So we have already sent out to everybody a sheet with the issues and the way we see the discussion going on. So if you can read that beforehand and make observation, maybe you can formulate 1 or 2 questions and comments that you would like to have during that roundtable. So we have things to discuss and clear ideas to talk about. And then on Thursday, we had a poster, a ritual year poster, and on Thursday, Irina Sedakova is going to be available for new members for 1 hour between 12:15 and 1:15 to discuss about our poster and mainly about our working group activities and invite new members to join us. So that's about our activities during the current Congress. And about future plans, about publishing our panel's paper, we wanted to ask you for suggestions. If you have any suggestion for a publication, who could host our panel papers?
I think we'll leave everybody with this.
Maybe they'll think about it.
Yes, because nobody is ready to suggest something, but
Yes.
we'll think about it. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have been 13 present at this meeting today. I have 300 people in my agenda, and we are actually 67 official members of the Ritual Year Working Group, meaning members that are also CF, have a regular CF membership paid. So we are quite in numbers, although we are not that many today online. But we keep in touch with each other, which is the main thing. So I think that was
Yes.
about it.
All
2 more
right.
minutes.
Yes, it's good if you report to the CF board that as we are not so many, it is better to postpone the elections and not to hold them online. Well, we already had this idea of postponing the elections, but the fact of being not so many here is of course an argument.
Yes, that's an excellent idea. We should have it when we have our conferences, not during the panel, the CF congresses, because we are less numbers.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. So,
All right.
those things.
Thank you so much. Stay safe, as they say now, and we'll meet up again
The following days.
very soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Nice to see you
Nice
again.
to see you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.